Okay, I think we're on part like 35 at this point. We're in the D's. Time to just jump headfirst into the D's. We started them um, on the last video, and we're going to keep on moving forward in this one. First up, we have a black metal band out of Chile. This is Dark Path with Lurking in the Shadows. This is very occult, kind of raw sounding black metal. Um, Pretty good stuff. This was released on Hell Productions, so I mean you kind of get what you get with this one. It's very, I guess you could say, blasphemous, just occult, dark, raw, black metal. Pretty good stuff there out of Chile. Next up is a band out of France. They're kind of neoclassical dark wave fused with gothic style metal. I got both of these together. I think they were freebies that were thrown in an order, a larger order I did. They only have the front artwork and the disc with them. This is Dark Sanctuary. This album is Lettre la l'Envers du Miroir. Yeah, they're from France. This one is pretty good. I think this was released around 2003, 2004, somewhere along those lines is when this particular release came out. Of the two that I was sent, this is probably my favorite of the two. This was released on Peaceville, so they do a lot of that kind of doomy gothic type stuff over there, and this kind of fits that bill. And then the next one, I'm going to have a hard time reading the name of this album because the print is so small. This is another Dark Sanctuary, obviously. This one is Exaldi Voctum Meme Part 1. I don't remember, I'm going to be honest, I don't remember just a whole lot about this particular release. Looking at it, it looks like it was in a slipcase at some point, and now it's just in the this jewel case with the front artwork. Honestly, I don't. I just know it's that kind of gothy, dark wave type stuff just from memory. I have not listened to that in some time. I don't recall listening to that a whole lot when I first received it anyway. So it's not fresh on the memory at all. Next up, this is actually the only release that I own from this project. I know that might come as a disappointment to some of you. It's not that I don't like this band. It's just that I've never sought out their material, and I'm sure that's going to be surprising to a lot of you. This is a Dark Tranquility with Construct, and this is the U.S. edition. This one was released in 2013. I'm surprised I didn't even think it had been out that long, but obviously it has. A good mellow death here. I do enjoy Dark Tranquility, and I've listened to them like on streams and YouTube and that type deal. It's not that I'm not familiar with the material at all. It's just I don't know. I can't really explain it. I don't have an excuse for it, but I've never really just sought out their albums to add to the collection. This one came in, I think, with some other releases at one point, or I got a good deal on eBay, and I added that one into the collection. And I like that one for what it is. I'm severely lacking on owning their material. Next up, we have some kind of mellow death slash thrash. I believe they're out of Sweden. This is Darkane with Layers of Lies, or Layers of Lies. Kind of some alliteration there. Kind of hard to get that out. I really enjoy this particular release from Darkane quite a bit. It is probably my favorite release that they've ever put out. Just as I was saying, mellow death fused with thrash metal, and they do it absolutely right on this particular release. Definitely the main one of their discography that I would recommend picking up if you don't own any of their material. And then we have probably their worst output, in my personal opinion. And this is one that back when Nuclear Blast was still doing their grab bags, and they used to do grab bags quite often around, I'd say around 2011, 2010, maybe a little bit earlier than that as well. They used to do these little, like 5 CD grab bags and mystery boxes and that type deal. and I think I got this particular release in every one that I ever picked up from Nuclear Blast and Century Media because they were kind of sister labels at the time. This is Darkane with Demonic Art. It's not a terrible release, but it is the weakest out of all of the Darkane discography. This is the special edition that has the bonus DVD. I have not listened to this one in quite some time. I have rehomed all of the extra copies. They are long gone now because they don't do the grab bags anymore. But I know I probably have had five of these in my possession at some point or another over the years. I don't hate it. It's just it's not my favorite release from that band. There are other full lengths from them that I would probably like to have in my collection a bit more than that particular release. Next up, this is a black metal band that I have the Metalhead box to thank for me checking them out. I forget where this band, it just slipped my mind completely where this band is hails from. They had a shirt. It's probably been a couple years ago now that was in a Metalhead box, and I was like, well, I have the shirt now, so I have to go check the band out. And I was absolutely floored by this album. And it is their newest album, and it is probably my favorite that I've heard from them. This is Darkened Nocturne Slaughter Cult with Martyrdom. This one came out in 2019. Try to let you guys get a good look at that artwork on that digipack there. This was released on War Anthem Records. As soon as I stop recording, it's going to pop in my head where this band is from. But right now, it is completely just out of my realm of thought. But I really dig this album. I'm super thankful that Metalhead Box introduced me to this band, and I was able to find that album. I know some of their material is a little hard to pick up, a little pricey when you do find it. I got a good deal on that one right about the time that box came out, and I am thankful for them introducing me to that project. Next up. This is a kind of Celtic folk band fused with traditional heavy metal. And this is an album that I'm pretty positive it came out somewhere around 2011. It had to be out right in that area because in my mind, I can remember that time frame and playing this quite often. This is Darkest Era with The Last Caress of Light. As I'm saying, just traditional heavy metal fused with folk. And the very first track on this, the Morgan, is the one that kind of hooked me from the very beginning. I'm not a fan of the packaging on this. A lot of the bigger labels have kind of gone this route with CDs. This is on Metal Blade Records. There's the actual disc. But I absolutely fell in love with this release. There's the back. I don't know if I showed that. And I played this over and over and over during that time span. I can remember around there it was probably mid 2011. That got just a ton of playtime for me. Their follow up to that is a lot of people actually hold this one in higher regard. This is their sophomore album, their only other full length. This one came out, I'm wanting to say around 2014. If memory serves me well. This is Darkest Era with Severance. A lot of people like this album more. I'm kind of partial to the debut, but this one is a very strong release as well. If you're into traditional metal that has some of those kind of folky themed overlays, even Tolkien-esque at times. Overlays in the material, then you might be into Darkest Era, and I recommend you check them out if you have not done so. Next band is a band that I'm continually back and forth with whether I really enjoy them as much as I think I do. At times I really like the music, and then sometimes I'm not feeling it at all. This is Dark Flight, and this album is entitled Perfectly Calm. Black and doom metal. This is my favorite release that they put out. I like it. I mean, I'd say 70% of the time, I find this quite enjoyable. I think this band is out of Bulgaria, of all places. And I mean, there's times where like this album feels like it's hitting just right, and then sometimes I put it in and I don't even want to hear it at all. Like I put it in and immediately take it back out because I want to put something else in. And that leads me to, I think this is their last album that they've released. This one is Dark Flight with The Hereafter. I wasn't a huge fan on this one. I don't know if that's where I kind of went sour because even to the point where I almost soured me on that one. I'm not sure, but I'm back and forth with this one as well. There are times where I find, I don't know, maybe I'm just crazy, but like it's hard for me to explain. It just, I guess it's something that I just absolutely have to be in the mood to listen to. This one has definitely not gotten the amount of playtime that the Perfectly Calm release got. I don't know. This one felt like a bit of a disappointment, but it has its moments where I enjoy it. If that makes a lick of sense, I don't know. I'm weird. Next up, we have Tribunal Records came in with the heat on this release. I would not have expected this from Tribunal. This is Dark Moon with .308 Antichrist. This is late 90s, early 2000s black metal. This is an EP that was released. I think this one was released in 2001. This is just blistering hellfire black metal. It is absolutely insane. I think it's 5 tracks. It's 4 tracks, and I was not expecting this. I got this in a Tribunal grab bag, and this was by far one of the best releases that I got in that entire grab bag. It is just insane, blistering hellfire black metal. And I would like to add some more Dark Moon into the collection. That is actually the only release from them. That was my introduction to that band. I don't think they're together anymore. This may be the last release that they put out. They had some full lengths as well, but I think this quite possibly may be the last release that they ever did release. Next up is a band that's a bit of a guilty pleasure. Some of you may laugh when you see this. This is The Darkness with Permission to Land. Now, I know it's goofy. I know it's eye-rolling. It's tongue-in-cheek. It's, I don't know. But musically, there are some great songs on this album. And, I mean, you can disagree with me if you want, but we're just going to have to agree to disagree on that because I absolutely love this album. It's one that it's probably going to stick with me forever. It's I have some fond memories looking back to just some of the ridiculousness that's on this. Even the like the radio hit, I Believe in a Thing Called Love. I mean it is what it is, but for what it is a very fun release. The follow up to that, One Way Ticket to Hell, I was not as impressed with this one. I do like Permission to Land quite a bit more. Luckily, this one is a promo, as you can see with that hole punch in the barcode there. So I got this for almost nothing, and so that kind of eases the disappointment a little bit. If it had been like a full price purchase, I probably would have been very, very disappointed with this. But when I look at them together, it's just this one is leaps and bounds ahead of what they came out with there. So next up, we still have Darkness, but this is a different Darkness. This is the German classic thrash metal band. This is their, I think, 1987 release, Death Squad. This was reissued in 2014 by War Hymns Records, and it's just classic German thrash. This is a phenomenal thrash metal release. It may surprise some people that I actually have this in the collection, as I've not always been the biggest advocate of thrash. Kind of coming around to it. I'm kind of warming up to it, and this one is just a stellar release. My favorite release from Darkness, and I'm glad to have this one in the collection. It's kind of hard to come by. Well, it was. I don't know if it still is now. When I picked this one up, it was a bit difficult to hunt that down, but that has been a few years ago now, so things could have changed. You might be able, I mean, especially now that CDs are dying a slow death. A lot of the values have come down quite a bit, so you may be able to score a copy of that. uh, for a little bit cheaper than what I had to pay. And then we have what is probably their worst full length. This is Conclusion and Revival. This was originally released, I think, in '89, I'm wanting to say, but this is a 2005 Battle Cry Records reissue. It has 6 bonus tracks on this, and some of the bonus material for me is a bit better than the full length material. Um, the What they did on Death Squad is kind of hard for it would be hard for anyone to match any band. So if you hear this one first and then go into some of their other material, you're probably going to be disappointed. But it's a pretty common it's a pretty common belief that this Conclusion and Revival is probably their weakest output. And sometimes I don't agree with the consensus on stuff like that, but I kind of fall in line on that one. Next up, this is an album that I purchased on eBay. I kept seeing this on eBay going for like $3 and free shipping for the longest time, and I remember listening to this album way back when it came out, and I finally just pulled the trigger and I added it into the collection. This is Dark Side with Cognitive Dissonance. This is melodic death metal out of Austria, and I don't know whatever became of this band. I didn't follow any of their material or anything before or after this particular release. I just remember this one when it came out, and it was almost a nostalgia purchase when I did it. It was I was straight out of high school, and I remember I had a copy of this back in the day. I think I had purchased it at FYE or at a Hastings or somewhere along there, and it worked its way out of my collection. And I kept seeing that on eBay, and I wanted to go ahead and grab it and put it back in, especially for that price point. I mean, it is very capable mellow death. It is a pretty good release. Next up, these are all from a band some of you may know. I don't know if you've heard of them or not. They are a kind of underground band out of Norway. This is Dark Throne, and you're going to see that there are a couple big holes in my Dark Throne collection. There are 2 albums that I'm pretty disappointed in myself for not having. I don't have an excuse for not picking them up. One is the debut Soulside Journey. I want a copy of that one, and for one reason or another, I have not worked it into my collection. We'll have to rectify that at some point. And the other is Transylvanian Hunger. I don't have either of those, unfortunately. I do have A Blaze in the Northern Sky. This is the 2003 Peaceville. I don't know if it's a remaster. I know it's a reissue. I don't know if it's a remaster or not. But a phenomenal. I mean, I love everything that Dark Throne has done. I've enjoyed them through all the different sound changes. They've tackled everything from black metal to death metal and stuff in between. And they really haven't released something that I just don't like. Obviously, there's some albums that I'm going to like more than others, but I don't recall just absolutely disliking anything that I've heard from them. Next up, we have Under a Funeral Moon. This is the hardback kind of digibook edition. This was released through Peaceville as well. There's no rhyme or reason to the editions or anything that I have. I kind of with Dark Throne, I kind of just pick up what I can get when I can get it. They're not a band that you're going to find their material marked down next to nothing. You're going to pay anytime you want to pick up some of their releases. We have Plague Wielder. This one was released through Moonfog in this digipack. Then we have Hate Them. This is another Moonfog edition. As I said, there's no rhyme or reason. There's going to be standard jewel cases, digibooks, digipacks. I have a super jewel case on one of these particular releases. But as I was saying, I'm just happy to have this stuff in the collection regardless of what particular edition it is or not. Next up, we have Darkthrone, obviously with Sardonic Wrath. This is another that was released through Moonfog. As you can kind of see that Moonfog emblem there on the back. If I started to get into and talk about each of these albums and the different eras and passages and back and forth through Darkthrone, this video would go on entirely too long. I don't have to do that for you guys. Most of you are familiar enough with this material and with Darkthrone. We have The Cult Is Alive. This one is a Peaceville. Release. Next up is the Super Jewel case. I hate Super Jewel cases. I'm glad that they didn't stick really as a thing. I never really liked these this format. This one was also done from Peaceville. This is FOAD. We all know what that stands for. I don't want to get demonetized or get a strike on the channel for mouthing that out. We all know. I guess I dropped the ball. I should have wore the FOAD beanie, whereas our neighbors up north say the toques. I should have worn my FOAD toque. It would have been a perfect opportunity. I like that artwork on that, and it's a pretty strong album from Darkthrone too. Pretty aggressive. Next up, we have another digibook. This is also through Peaceville. This one, the actual liner book on the inside has come out of the staples. It has a one of the discs is in a like a little sleeve that was attached to the inside liner note, but through the through time and through plays, it has working its way out. This is the 3-disc edition. You can see Goat Lord there on the back. I'm going to try to piece that back together. I almost forgot that that came out. You have the Land of Frost demo, A New Dimension demo, Thalkandra, Cromlech, live from Denmark, and then of course the Goat Lord demo that I showed. It's the instrumental version that's in that one. So a neat little pack there. Obviously, it has some wear and tear on it because it's obviously coming apart. I have to put these back in the kind of digi protectors after the video. We have Circle the Wagons. This was also released on Peaceville, but this one is in a digipack version. So even the Peaceville releases are in all different types of formats and stuff as well. Then we have the Underground Resistance. This one took a little bit to grow on me. I didn't like this one that much when I first heard it on first listen, and then as I returned to it, and it kind of started to grow on me, and now I actually enjoy this one quite a bit. This one was also released through Peaceville. And then we have a bootleg here. This is the True Legends in Black. This has got Darkthrone and Mayhem. And this one's very raw. The production on this is, I mean, you have to be a fan to enjoy this one. I got this one from Paragon Records for $5. So it was definitely worth the $5 just to have some, you know, this piece of material in the collection. Is it something that I'm going to reach for when I want to listen to either of these bands? Probably not. I mean, it's a good listen for what it is, but it's kind of a tough listen. It is very, very low production, very raw. But I also have the Eternal Hails CD from Darkthrone as well, but it is over with my new releases stack at the moment. I know there's some pretty substantial holes in that Darkthrone collection, but I've been slowly knocking it out one by one. Aside from Soulside Journey and Transylvanian Hunger, I have the mainstays that I want in the collection, but I will at some point add those in as well. That's all I've got for this video. I guess whenever I can find the time, we'll just keep marching on through the D's. Hopefully, we won't be in the D's forever like we were the C's. Till next time, stay classy. I'll see you guys soon, I promise.